All right, all right. Welcome everyone to the Year of the Bird. Today, obviously, doing the show about like a few hours before or the day before. But yeah, overall pretty good. I don't know why the thing's so fast.
What's going on with the audio today?
Yeah, but hopefully my audio is good. But yeah, hope everyone is doing good. Obviously, before you do, please do hit the like button on the stream and subscribe to both channels. Um, obviously, maybe before we start, I will hopefully. Oh no!
That's weird. What's going on?
Oh no! Okay, I know why. Okay, now it's good. Okay, I will be doing hopefully a vlog, football vlog, this week hopefully because the national team of Spain is coming to Galicia or well the under 21s, not the actual team, but yeah, that's to look forward to. But how are you, Charlie?
All good. Listen, for both Spurs and Newcastle, it's fair to say that things. Even though, look, I know we're higher in the league and stuff, but like it's fair to say that I don't think either of us can be satisfied whatsoever with what's going on at both of our football clubs right now. But apart from that, I'm doing good. I'm happy to be back on another Year of the Bird show. Of course, the Spurs and Newcastle podcast. Like Ten said, whoever's watching from either channel, make sure you subscribe to both. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Get all your thoughts in the chat as well about everything we speak about, which this show will probably be a bit of a shorter show considering we only have 2 games to talk about. And next week, we will be reviewing the upcoming games in the Premier League and the Champions League. Look, especially for Spurs, 2 very big but also tricky games. So look forward to that next week. But yeah, I'm looking forward to another show. Hopefully there's not too much tears because this time, unlike La Pina Rossa on Monday, it was only me that was crying. Now it'll be both of us crying. So
I guess. But yeah, obviously, I guess we can start maybe with the early kickoff from last Saturday. We're only going to, as we said, just 2 games. But the early kickoff on Saturday was the biggest game of all time, that being Tottenham against Manchester United.
Europa League final rematch.
And then, to be honest, I wish this was actually the Europa League final.
Oh no, I'm glad it wasn't the Europa League.
How it went, how it went, because but how you feel about the game?
Just very disappointed, if that makes sense. Just very obviously I'm going to talk a lot about the performance and the lineup and the tactics and all of that sort of stuff. But just when you consider what happened in this game, the fact that this game was basically a nothing game, I would say, for 84 minutes. I didn't think either team did much. Obviously, Mbeumo did get the goal for Man United. Again, it was a carbon copy of Spurs not being able to clear the ball. How many goals are we going to concede where we just should just clear the ball and we try and play out from the back and do something fancy with it. When, you know, the old saying is just when in doubt, knock it out, or whatever it is. When in doubt, clear it, or something. And our players, I'm not even just talking about our defenders, because this is going to midfielders that have done it as well. Our players in general just need to understand that, look, clear it when you have to clear it. It's as simple as that. Look, obviously the two lineups for Spurs. Look, I'll be honest, this lineup I wasn't happy with. And look, there's some obvious ones in there, like, you know, don't want to see Richarlison start, don't want to see Johnson start. But the other one that pissed me off was, I mean, look, I don't even dislike Spence. I think Spence has done well for us, and I think Spence has improved a lot over the last 6 months or so. But Destiny Udogie is back. I do believe he's the better player. Obviously, he's naturally a left back. And against Copenhagen, he had a fantastic performance. And what is his reward? Benched. That's his reward, to be benched by Spence, who I don't think has been playing that well. But not even just that. Spence hasn't been great the last couple of games, sure. But the problem I've got with this is, look at that left-hand side, Richarlison and Spence. There is no balance whatsoever. Richarlison, not naturally a left winger, even though he can play there, but he's bad. Just full stop. And then Spence, who's naturally a right back, and he's inverting. You know, Richarlison, because he wants to play more central, will invert as well. You know, that there's no left-hand side whatsoever. And look, like I said, there were obvious things I weren't happy about with the lineup and stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, how many times are we going to sit here at home and say that wasn't good enough? That was disgraceful. And it's kind of, obviously, we'll talk about Newcastle, but you're having a serious issue away from home. We're having a serious issue at home. And at home, listen, obviously, like I said, I talked about the Mbeumo goal. I didn't think Man United did much up until that point. I thought, if anything, we slightly edged it, even though it's not really saying too much. But listen, they took their chance. Mistake from us trying to pass it around the back again, whatever it was. Obviously, Mbeumo scores. And it was another half, no shots on target, no creativity, no ideas, not a clue what to do against 5 defenders. Because when Man United got the goal, I don't know if this was tactics from Amorim, or just naturally what any team does when they take the lead, you know, sat back a bit, didn't leave any space. What do you know? We don't know what to do. And this was not helped by the fact that Kudus was injured for this game. He didn't make it after a late fitness test. And ultimately, that stifled our attack. And to be honest, you know, until the 84th minute, when, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Odegaard and Tell both came on. And I'm being honest. Look, you guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of either of these players, especially Tell. But both of them came on and made a difference. And it would be unfair for me to say if they didn't, because I thought Odegaard came on and played really well. Really well. He came on at halftime. I thought he played really well. Had probably his best game. I'd say that's arguably his best game for Spurs. I'm not even joking. Like, he actually put in a really good performance. And then, obviously, you know, Tell got the goal from essentially nothing. Our equaliser came from nothing. I mean, I know early in the first half we had a couple of moments. Lamens made a couple of saves. There was the one from Romero. There was another one as well. But apart from that, you know, we were really struggling. Like, there was, Man United weren't doing much going the other way. We were struggling to open them up. And Man United, I don't even think was sitting back that much. It was just more to do with the fact that, how many times am I going to say it? When there's no space, we don't have a fucking clue what to do. It's as simple as that. And listen, good finish from Tell. Fair play to him. Got the goal from nothing. And look, within a few minutes, we find ourselves 2-1 up somehow. I mean, that essentially came from, I'm going to say it was essentially 2 goals from nothing. And look, everyone's making a whole thing about the Richarlison thing, you know, celebrating and then obviously conceding a goal right after, like that Anfield game a few years ago. Listen, what I'm going to say is this: that goal is nothing to do with Richarlison. I know he was awarded the goal, but it was nothing to do with him. Let's be honest. If you go back and watch it, Odegaard, who I said came on and played really well, I was quite impressed with him. Cuts in, great shot. You know, it's heading for the far corner. It just happens to just ever so slightly flick Richarlison's hair and go in. It was. I'll be honest. That shot was going in already. Like that would have been a goal if Richarlison didn't touch it. He does touch it. He does claim the goal. I mean, listen, for him to make that celebration for a goal that shouldn't have even been his, and an absolute stinker of a performance. And look, at half time, I was complaining the fact that, look, why is Frank taking off Colomboani instead of Richarlison? Because I was like, get this bum off Richarlison. He's doing absolutely nothing. He's just losing the ball every time he gets it. But now, apparently, Colomboani's got injured. He's got a jaw injury. So that's another injury to add to this bloody long list that is just increasing every goddamn week. But anyway, hopefully he gets well soon and everything. But that's maybe Frank would have taken off Richarlison if it wasn't if Moani didn't get injured, but gets a goal which no doubt masks what was another just disgraceful and disgusting performance. A player that's obviously on Tuesday everyone saw that his ego got in the way, even though look we were 4-0 up and I get it, but his ego got in the way of Scarlett, scoring his first Champions League goal. And listen, we go 2-1 up, but what do they always say in football? They always say that you're always at your most vulnerable after you've scored, immediately after you've scored. And listen, I'll be honest, I thought we won the game. It was obviously the 90th minute. Yes, there was quite a bit of stoppage time, 6 minutes, but I'm thinking, look, we've gone 2-1 up. All we have to do is just, see it out, and we've won the game. I genuinely thought when we got the second goal, I thought, that's it. And maybe that was a bit overconfident of me because obviously there was still time to go, but I thought we had won the game. Obviously we hadn't. And all I'm going to say for this is Ange Ball wreaked its ugly head once again, because that defending from that corner was an absolute joke. I mean, why is De Ligt, who is probably their biggest threat in the air, unmarked at the back post? Why is he unmarked? And the most disappointing thing about this is that it's one of those where, look, it's easy for me to say, just defend that one corner and we won the game. Just defend the corner. And the frustrating thing is that I actually think we've been very good at defending corners this season. I actually think that Frank has come in, he's brought in a set-piece coach, and our set pieces, attacking and defending, have been so much better than they were at any point under Ange. But that right there was a carbon copy of every single corner under Ange, basically. And listen, for any fan that's, and I know I keep bringing this up, but there are these delusional, just idiot Spurs fans out there that say, "Oh, look, bring Ange back. He dared. He was the guy. Bring Ange back." Listen, I'll say it again. Thank you, Ange, for the trophy. Did really well to do it. Blah blah, all of that. But let's not pretend that if Ange had stayed, that we'd all be calling for him to be sacked right now. Let's just not pretend that, because I'll be honest, all the fans out there saying that, oh, Ange beat Man United last season. Yeah, I mean, first of all, Ange would have, if you look at the way that game went, Ange would have lost it. Plus, this is, not that much better, but it is a better Man United. They do have Mbeumo, they do have Cunha, and they are unbeaten in a few games, which is obviously, for how bad they've been, that's obviously a massive improvement on anything they were showing before. So look, Man United came into this game on a little bit of form, plus with a competent goalkeeper. People forget. In our last 3 wins against Man United, because obviously we beat them 4 times in a row, but in our last 3 wins, we benefited from some absolute stinkers from goalkeepers. Onana twice and Binder in the cup. This time they had a competent goalkeeper. So obviously those mistakes weren't going to happen. And yeah, we draw the game 2-2, and it was, like I said, very frustrating because we got 2 goals from nothing. I mean, look, if you'd asked me, at 80th minute, basically, would I take a draw? I probably would, because we were creating nothing. We were doing absolutely fuck all with the ball, and at that point, I would have been like, look, just if we can snatch a draw from this, then great. It's better than nothing, but I thought we had the win. And look, like I said, fair play to the likes of Tell, fair play to Odebert, who came on and essentially made those 2 goals happen, basically, off the bench. But then we go and throw it away because we can't defend a fucking corner at the end. We can't defend one corner. And it's so infuriating because it was, for those that know, and I'm sure every football fan feels this way, I absolutely hate last-minute equalizers. I fucking hate them. And I'll be honest, a last-minute equalizer against my team stings more than us losing 3-0. Because at that point, and I know it's, 1 point more and everything, but like, at least if you're losing 3-0, you can mentally prepare yourself. You'll be like, look, we've lost this game, you have time to kind of digest it during the game before it's finished because you know the game's lost. But in this case, you think you've won the game, going 2-1 up. And like I said, Richarlison, absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely a disgrace of a player. Like I said, celebrating like that when it wasn't even his goal. Like, come on. Honestly, he needs to go. It's as simple as that. Like, that goal isn't going to cover up what was another hideous performance. It's as simple as that. He needs to go. Listen, it'll be unfair of me to single out Richarlison, like I always say. I don't think it's fair to single out one player because I think Richarlison is one of a few that can't be at this club anymore, that are nowhere near good enough to play for Tottenham. But yeah, it was not good. But if I'm being really honest about it, a draw was a fair result. I think that was, if you watch the game, look at the balance of play. Both teams were very even. Both teams I don't think were very good on the day. And I didn't think either particularly deserved to win it, if I'm honest. So based on that, 2-2, a draw probably is a fair result. But, when you get 2 goals from nothing at the end and you're ahead with not long to go, you've got to win the game. It's as simple as that. You have to see it out. And ultimately what this means is we still can't win at home. And one home win in the league all season is embarrassing. It's nowhere near good enough. One win at home all season. At home. Because I'll be honest, the away form's good, but this isn't going to last. I can tell you something. Away form is way less sustainable than home form. Way less sustainable. This is not going to... I'd be very surprised if we keep this up away from home. Very surprised. So then what? Once the away form dries out, then what? What happens when we, obviously next week we play at the Emirates, when we play at the likes of Anfield, when we go to Stamford Bridge later on in the season? What's going to happen there? Because those games we have a bad history in, and at home we're letting ourselves down. We're letting ourselves down every single home game. We can't win a game at home. There's clearly some sort of mental block with this team, and I think the manager has to do better in a lot of ways. And I'll say this again. Any Spurs fan that is right now is saying Frank out is out of their mind. Because, first of all, tell me what alternative you would bring in. Tell me who would walk into Tottenham right now and magically click his fingers and say, look, Richarlison's a good player, Johnson's a good player, all of these guys that are letting us down are good. Name me a manager in world football that can do that, because it's not going to happen. That you're in dreamland if you genuinely believe that any manager coming in right now is going to make us better. Because the reality is that some of these players have let every manager down. Players that shouldn't be at this club, that have obviously been signed by Levy and his bullshit transfer policy. Whether that continues, obviously remains to be seen. We don't know with the new structure, even though it is the same majority owners. So we'll see what happens. That's a wait and see situation. But this is the damage Levy's done. He has left us, in this situation. And I think it's impossible to blame the manager right now, because I look at what Frank's doing and he's trying to set us up in a way to get results. He's trying to set us up in a way that suits us. He's trying to kind of make that defense better. He's trying to build from the back. I understand that. That, I think, is the right thing to do based on what we were seeing last season. Look, Frank deserves a year. I'm not one of these people that's, trust the process, 5 years, Arteta. No. Frank deserves this year, a couple more transfer windows before we can fairly judge him. Because, like I said, there are players that can't be coached. There are players that can't be improved in this team. Give Frank, a better front three. Give Frank another Kudus on the left and up front. Then judge him. Give Frank a fully fit team. Then judge him. I just think it's ridiculous that anyone can... Yes, you can criticize the manager. That's fine. You can say that you might have done this wrong, this selection, this substitution, which is what I've been doing. But to say you want him out is bonkers to me. And yes, he might not be the guy for us long term. That's fine. Even for somebody like me who wanted Ange out for the whole of last season, even in his first season, I was never Ange out. I gave him the first season. I gave him a year. And I'm giving Frank a year as well, at least, and a couple more transfer windows. So Let's just see how it plays out. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't pissed off right now. And he does have to fix this home form. And we in general have to fix this home form because it's nowhere near good enough and it's embarrassing. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, that is my thoughts on everything going on right now, Tim.
Ooh. I mean, I was really hopeful when scored with Charleston. I mean, I was hoping that was actually the winning goal. Like, not only that, it could have been 5 in a row against Man United.
All I'm going to say is, look, thank God that wasn't the Europa League final. Thankfully, we didn't concede an equaliser late in the Europa League final because that would have killed me. That would have, oh man, because we probably would have gone on to lose it. So, thankfully, we held on in the Europa League final.
Yeah, I think overall for Spurs, I think I didn't even know that we call this. It was a one win in all home games
in the league.
So actually, in the Premier League,
yeah.
And that being against Burnley,
and that was the first game. That was the first game of the season. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, so I feel like it's just not been a great sort of home form, but then as you said about the away form, I think you're unbeaten.
Look, we've been the best in the league. We have the best away record in the Premier League.
Yeah, just wait until 10 days from now.
We'll talk about that on the next show.
Yeah, and when you come back to St. James's again,
oh, no.
But and that's the 5 in a row, 5 wins. But we'll talk about it when it comes. But yeah, I think overall for this game, to be honest, I thought Man United were actually pretty decent in this game. I thought they offered more sort of attack than what they've had over the past few games, Man United. But the same thing with Spurs is that didn't create anything, and then once the team goes ahead against Spurs,
that's the thing. If you score the first goal, you're not losing the game because we haven't won one game from going behind this season.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, we haven't won once. Whenever we've gone behind, we've drawn at most. We haven't won a game when going behind, and I think that speaks volumes because this team don't know how to open up the opposition. When a team takes the lead, they're going to drop back a bit more. We don't have a bloody clue how to open them up.
Yeah, and I think overall this sort of game, I think, kind of shows vulnerabilities with Spurs, like in terms of like the team lineup, like the fact that players like we call this Spence is starting ahead of Udogie. Obviously, maybe it might do with what
Udogie had to start. He put in a fantastic performance against Copenhagen and then gets benched.
Yeah. Or I don't know if it's something to do with what happened to him
maybe
a few days ago, maybe. But if that's not the case, then that's a bit, you can say, surprising, you can say. So I think overall it's just not been a great home form from Spurs, whereas I think I'm pretty sure Xavi Simons wasn't playing.
Simmons played against United, and I actually thought that was one of his better performances as well. I actually thought Simmons put in a decent performance. I thought in the Premier, I know. Look, his best performance for Spurs was against Copenhagen, but I actually thought in the league that was his best performance against Man United, I reckon.
So maybe that might be something to look forward to after the international break. Now it's been you can say back-to-back decent performances from Simons.
Look, we need him. Look, Kulusevski's he's on grass now, which is good, but he's still not going to be back for a while. And then obviously Maddison's out for the season, so we really need him. We desperately need him to do something for us.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, has he yet to score or assist?
He's got 2 assists in all competitions
and 0 goals.
0 goals.
Is he on? Technically,
there was no 007 because he got an assist. No! He got an assist in his first Premier League game. So,
but yeah, I think overall, you could say maybe the midfield probably Paulinho, Saw, Simmons.
I was happy with the midfield, if I'm honest. I actually agreed with the selection for the midfield.
It's just the players that are out wide in the attack.
So bad, man.
Brenda and Richie.
Do you know how sick and tired I am? But because here's like you probably know this that throughout most of history, especially kind of my time growing up and everything, no matter how poor Spurs have been in moments, we've always had good strikers. Whether that's Kane and Son, whether that's Berbatov, whether that's Keane, whether that's that's Soldado. Get out of here. Whether that's you've seen it. Even Pavlyuchenko wasn't too bad. You've got Van der Vaart, even though he was more of an attacking midfielder. Defoe. We've always had good strikers. Peter Crouch. And good forwards in general. Like I said, Van der Vaart, Lennon. These guys. But right now, this is the worst attack I've ever seen at Spurs. This is the worst attack I've ever seen. Genuinely. And it disgusts me. Because... like I said, I've been growing up with Kane and Son. I've been before that, a bit of Bale, Defoe, and all of that, and now we're stuck with this. Like it's disgusting, man. It's not good enough.
Yeah, and I think overall, we'll see what January and maybe even the summer might bring for Spurs in terms of like trying to build.
Look, Enoch are under the microscope. The Lewis family and this new board who's claim that they want to change the club are under the microscope because if we see the same habits and the same problems in the transfer market, then I'm going with change for Tottenham and I'm protesting again. It's as simple as that.
Until Qatar or I don't know Bahrain or whatever. But I think I would say, to be honest, as a neutral in this game was quite exciting. I remember
especially the end. I mean, the last 10 minutes, including
obviously.
Stoppage time, was chaos.
Yeah. And then I remember I saw during the game like a stat. I'm trying to find that image that I sent to Charlie about it because it was like Spurs were like the second worst.
We've had 100 shots in the league.
Yeah, before a certain like 60th minute.
Yeah, we had 100 shots. Is that like the second worst
at that time of?
It says it all. This is all. Look, like I said, our most dangerous players going forward this season have been defenders and midfielders. I'd say Paulinho and Van der Ven and Kudus, who is a forward. But apart from Kudus, I'd say it's Paulinho and Van der Ven, who are both midfielders and defenders.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it because like it was a bit surprising when I saw it about 100 something shots.
It's mental.
It's like the second lowest in the Prem.
By the way, shout out to Van der Ven for that tackle on Sesko.
Oh yeah, that
was a tackle. Really, I have to say, look, it was when it was 1-1. It was right after we equalised. What a tackle, man! No. Get Van der Ven because there's been rumours about him getting a new contract. Get that signed ASAP.
Let me see.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, this is it. This is in the 51st minute.
Where is it? Oh, okay, there.
Look at this. Wolves, who are bottom, had more shots than us at this point.
Yeah.
It's an absolute disgrace.
This was 6:50.
This is such a joke, man. Genuinely, it's when you see stuff like this, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. So I was a bit surprised, like the fact that at that time you were level with West Ham. West Ham and Wolves. Obviously, not great reading for Spurs, but at least since then you scored 2 goals.
But this says everything you need to know about the players who are supposed to be shooting are the forwards. This tells you everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, a couple of shout outs. Shout out to Odebert for changing the game. Shout out to Van der Ven for that tackle, and shout out to Tell actually for that finish.
And Richarlison for scoring.
Nah, he don't get no shout out because that was all Odebert. That's why I give Odebert the shout out because he did all the work.
I'm not sure. Did he get man of the match, Odebert?
No, I think
it's technically 2 assists.
I think they gave it to who did they give it to? I think they gave it to like probably Delict or something. I'll be honest because he scored the equaliser and I actually thought he was pretty good throughout the game. So
better than Van der Ven.
Nah, not better than Van der Ven.
I'm literally just trying my best to prolong the Spurs Man United talk,
Oh no, I know why. I 100% know why.
No. Okay, so I guess we'll get to the other team, not Man United. I mean Newcastle
United.
Let's see. Share screen.
Who can't win away from home?
So, actually, me and Charlie were both on True City Fan Extra or TCF Extra.
Yeah, TCF now. Yeah,
Which is basically Strasbourg Steve.
yeah,
More or less.
yeah.
Did a watch along for it. I think Charlie came on for the second half, more or less. But yeah, we lost away again in the Premier League.
Not a single away win for Newcastle this season.
USG, but
in the league.
But yeah, obviously 3-1 defeat against Brentford. So now it's back-to-back seasons that we lost at their ground. So, since they've been up, we've beaten them every time, and now it's the reverse. But I thought the first half wasn't really that exciting. Joe Linton I'll be honest, wasn't really doing much. If he was, suffering.
I mean, what were your thoughts on the lineup? I mean, what did you? I think, clearly after Dan Burns' performance, I think Lewis Hall should have played.
Yeah. But the lineup at the start of the game, I'd probably say it was, I guess, good. Maybe I think, obviously, with a bit of hindsight, maybe I would have replaced Joe Linton with Jacob Ramsey, because I thought he was okay, Jacob Ramsey, in the game. Obviously, not as the game went on, but you can say in the first half. But the first half, we actually scored the opening goal. But
again,
just like West Ham, it didn't matter in the end. But
this game was basically a card. We can just copy and paste what we spoke about with the West Ham game last week. Carbon copy.
Yeah, but obviously this time it was Harvey Barnes with the goal. I thought he was actually our most attacking threat player. I thought Valdemar didn't really do much. Jacob Murphy not as much as well. Like overall, the team wasn't that good in terms of performance. But then obviously, it ended up, not being a good performance because we lost. At halftime at 1-0 up, I forgot what I was saying. Like just be professional. Try. Maybe get a second goal, maybe see the game out, but wasn't meant to be because Sven Botman decided to give an assist to Kevin Schade for the equalizer because it was a long throw-in. So now we are getting...
And Pope, man. Nick Pope with an absolute stinker.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah. But then, when it was 1-1, kind of felt like the game...
The tide was turning, I'll be honest, Ten. From what I saw, Brentford came out the better team. The goal was coming, and I thought at 1-1, I thought you guys got outplayed, and I felt like the only team that looked like scoring was Brentford.
Yeah. And then, obviously, there was... before the actual penalty, there was a penalty shout, maybe like 10, 15 minutes before the actual penalty that was scored. It was Dan Burn fouling, I think it was Thiago. I'm not sure. But kind of escaped, or it might have been someone else. But, seeing Dan Burn later on get a yellow card for something, and then he got a second yellow, which was the one that was given as the penalty, get sent off literally just before we were going to make some substitutions. And I'll get to a specific quote Eddie Howe said after the post-match about Dan Burn.
I mean, those substitutions, man, like, I don't get it.
I mean, Lewis Hall should have came on.
It just felt like Steve said it on the watch along. It was like very reactionary.
We actually made 4 subs.
Yeah.
I remember.
Because you should have made subs. I think you should have made subs before Dan Burn got sent off and conceded a penalty. You should have made the subs before.
Yeah. And then, obviously, Nick Pope kind of had a bad fall. I believe it was before or after the penalty call. So it was actually we brought on one of your favorite players, Aaron Ramsdale, the one that kept the clean sheet against Spurs. But yeah, Nick Pope, I'm not sure was it a concussion or something, but was substituted. Some other players We brought on Lewis Hall. Well, we should have brought him on before Dan Burn got sent off. Elanga and Joe Willock came on in that
did
sort of
absolutely nothing. Absolutely not.
And Tonali was subbed off. Barnes was subbed off. Basically, the entire team.
It was like that West Ham game when Eddie Howe made like 4 subs at half time or something.
Yeah, and put Tonali at right back, but this time he just took off Tonali. But yeah, once Igor Thiago scored the penalty and made it 2-1, I kind of felt like the game was over because it's literally the carbon copy of the West Ham game, because literally in, you could say, the last minute, like how Thomas Suchek scored last minute sort of against us to make it 3-1. It's the same thing again against Brentford. I don't say it's Malik Chow's fault because I think he made the right decision to tackle.
I think it was Botman.
Oh, it was Botman, yeah.
Botman had a stinker, by the way, for 2 of those goals. Two of those goals, disgusting. Like, terrible.
Yeah, especially I would say the third one, because like you should know that the defender is behind, or not the attacker is behind you. It's just sluggish, and then obviously made it 3-1 Brentford, and then it was game over. But yeah, overall wasn't great, and obviously big up to Evolve.
Big up every single time.
What's my name? But yeah, I think the performance overall is, you could just say it's the same thing as the West Ham game, which now means that so far in the Premier League, no away wins all season in the Prem, because USG does count. But yeah, not good.
I mean, look at the stats. You had 1 shot on target. 1 shot on target. And you should have been more, I'll be honest, you should have lost by more than 2 goals. 3 goals.
Yeah. So I think overall, not a great performance. So the sort of reaction we got, since the West Ham game, yeah, you can perform okay against Athletic in the Champions League, Athletic B team, more or less, because literally that was like their B team, more or less. But the response from West Ham is, in terms of the Prem, is the same exact thing, literally the exact same thing. That's the response. So obviously not looking good at the moment. Oh yeah, at least that's something to look.
The hate watch is ripe. Yeah, City destroyed them, to be honest.
Yeah, thankfully. Go City. No, I actually don't mind who's winning the title, as long as it's not SC.
As long as it's not Arsenal, then.
But yeah, overall, not great away record. In terms of home record, I believe we've lost 2 home games, that being the last minute to Liverpool and Arsenal. So to be honest, the first, you could say, 3 months of the season hasn't been that great, unless you want to count Champions League and beating Spurs in the cup. It's just not been that good of a season from us. But as Charlie said, away form is less sustainable. So hopefully that continues for us. Less sustainable. Change it.
I think I'll ask you a very simple question. Like, why are you so bad away from home? Like, that's clearly, I think if you're going to identify what Newcastle's biggest issue is this season, it's clearly the away form. You guys have been so bad away from home. I mean, why are you this bad away from home? Like, genuinely. Like, I'm actually like baffled by it.
So far, in the Prem, we've played. Well, I'm trying to. Am I correct with that stat? No, it must be that. So, in terms of home form in the Prem, it's 3 wins, 0 draws, 2 losses, and the one being, I said before, away from home, 0 wins, 3 draws, and 3 defeats. Consecutives: draw, loss. Since then, and I believe we haven't kept a clean sheet in the Prem since. Oh, no surprise, Big Ange. The Forest game,
the game that got him sacked, I think, or the one before.
I think the one before because it was
Yeah.
Chelsea. But yeah, in terms of the away form, maybe I mean when I think about it, we actually haven't played any of the Big Six, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we actually haven't.
Yeah,
played the Big
that
Six.
and that's the worrying part is that you've got much tougher away games later on in the season, and
Yeah,
it's really. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, just looking from a neutral's point of view with Newcastle, like, I'll be honest, because obviously I watched the Brentford game. I didn't watch the West Ham game in full, but I watched the Brentford game, and I can now understand where you, Steve, and kind of the Newcastle fans I'm seeing online. I can understand why you're so annoyed right now because
yeah,
you're getting sliced open like butter away from home. Especially with the midfielders you have, you're way too easy to play against. And I think that I'll be honest, I'm looking at Newcastle right now. Obviously, we'll talk more about the table in a bit, but like you're 2 points above the relegation zone. 2 points. Like Eddie Howe, I'll be honest, right? I know I gave you a bit of shit for being Eddie Howe out last season and stuff. But I'll be honest, I know you're not Eddie Howe out just yet.
Yeah.
But if you were, I wouldn't. I'd be like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because what I'm seeing from the outside is that Eddie Howe, he's doing things like the Tonali at right back thing, like the substitutions against Brentford, kind of reacting rather than being proactive and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's right now it's a bit of a sinking ship, if I'm honest. And to be honest, I thought you'd be a bit more annoyed on this stream, but I guess you're becoming used to it.
Becoming used to it. I mean, actually, our record since Eddie Howe's been manager to start the season, the first full season being the one we got to the Champions League, as in 22-23. We started the season first 7 games, 1 win in 7, because it was 1 win, 5 draws, 1 loss. The season after, the season we were in the Champions League, beat PSG and all, the first 12 games was 6 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. And then last season, first 15 games was 5 wins, 5 draws, 5 losses. Again, so far inconsistent. And this season, our record is 3 wins, 3 draws, 5 losses. So I kind of, you could say, expected that we start the season bad or inconsistent. I mean, at least we're not as bad as like Wolves, at least we can beat Wolves.
Oh, here we go.
And obviously they just appointed Rob Edwards earlier today, which I'm pretty sure he'll beat Spurs when you play them sometime. But I think overall, we've not started the Premier League season quite well. And I did say this, like even before the season started, that Newcastle in Champions League will be like a Giga Chad, but in the Premier League it'll be like a small puppy in the Premier League, which, well, I'm not surprised because we.
So wait, you're not actually that surprised by this. Well, even would you expect to be kind of this bad away from home, especially?
I mean, I was hoping at least 1 away win so far by now, but if our first away win is on the 14th of December, you know what? I'll take it. But
the derby, but the way it's going, I mean, Sunderland.
Oh God,
you're not gonna like this, but they're doing quite well.
No, it's not that. It's the one annoying thing is that there were some Newcastle fans that wanted Sunderland back up.
Yeah, to be fair, you weren't one of them. You said you didn't want them back up.
I don't want them back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are there some Newcastle? Oh, I want the derby back. I'm like, yay. We had the derby, January 2024 in the FA Cup. That sort of thing. I'm like, why did you want them back up? Look where they are now, and look where we are. We're in the Champions League, not them. But in terms of the Premier League, the fact that now saying mind the gap. Oh, God.
Yeah, shocking. But I think, to be honest, I know Sunderland are doing well, but I think Newcastle Newcastle, it's more Newcastle being bad because, like,
Yeah.
you guys should not be 2 points, even at this early in the season. You guys should not be 2 points above the relegation zone. Like, that is horrible.
Yeah, it's only, well, for now, it's only 1/3 of the season through. And for some reason, we always just turn up in 1 or 2 months. It could be after this international break. It could be in December. I would prefer it to be in December because, the derby and all that. But I would say I still kind of expect us to do well in the Champions League, which we'll talk about it a bit later. But in terms of the Premier League, I do think we'll turn around the form eventually. I hope so. Right now, am I Eddie Howe out? Like last season, up until that cup final? Not at this moment, but what would be my turning point for this season is the 14th of December.
So that's what it comes down to for you.
Because I always think, like, if it was like Spurs, Arsenal, it's okay because Arsenal and Spurs always fight for Europe and all that sort of stuff. So, or like Man United, Man City, if you lose to whichever one, like both are expected to be, fighting for European places. But if we lose to Sunderland on the 14th, which I know it's not the next away Premier League game, we have Everton away, and then Sunderland away. That's the next 2 Premier League away games. Obviously, I want 2 wins in that, but if there is to be a win, I would prefer it to be the one on the 14th of December, I would say. Because for me, I usually would say it's a sackable offense to lose to Sunderland, because Sunderland aren't a Arsenal Spurs type of rivalry. It's not a Liverpool Man United rivalry. It's literally, we're better than them. We have a bigger history. We have more trophies. We've won a trophy more recently. Sunderland, they're just buying their way to success, But because they're literally doing the Nottingham Forest model.
I mean, the thing is as well, like, you're right, because Newcastle should be on a different level to Sunderland this season. But kind of, I mean, taking Sunderland out of the equation, I mean, look at the table. Like, you've conceded 14 goals. You've only scored 11. That's something
that's 1 per game as well.
You've only scored, you're averaging 1 goal per game. And do you want to know a stat that I read before the show? Is that Dan Burn, who's like, 6'5" or something, has lost the most aerial duels out of any defender. I mean, that's mental. Like, what? How is Dan Burn losing the most aerial duels out of any defender in the league?
Yeah, that, I don't know. Is it maybe because overconfidence? I don't know.
Well, I think I'll say this, at left back, I think obviously he's not the best, but even then, like, he still shouldn't be losing like duels in the air. Like, in the air, that's where he should be.
And there was a quote from Eddie Howe after the post-match conference where he said the reason why he didn't take off Dan Burn is for height. When, as you said, lost the most aerial duels. I'm like,
because I'll be honest, I think Eddie Howe's. I think that if he loses that derby, I think not just you, because I know you said that will be your turn, but I reckon a lot of Newcastle fans will turn, because I think that where you are in the league, if you lose to Sunderland, that I think will.
I don't care the manner of it, whether it's last minute 3-0 like it's been like during that 6 in a row. No matter which way, if we lose, actually no. I'm not even going to accept a draw. Have to win that. I ain't going to accept a draw. I need us to win that. When we played Sunderland in the FA Cup 2 seasons ago and beat them 3-0, before that game, I was like, if we do not progress, he has to be sacked on the spot. And it will be the same vibe I have.
And then you were saying Eddie Howe out last season until he won the trophy.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a bit harsh, but now I don't think it would be that harsh.
Yeah. But if we were to, let's say, well, in terms of Premier League games before the derby, we have Man City at home, and then we have Everton away. Thankfully, we have Spurs at home. Okay.
Oh no. Yeah,
But
we'll somehow like stink it out. We always stink it out at St James's.
what do you call this? And then after Spurs at home, Burnley at home, and then the Derby. So that's what, the 5th game from now. Obviously, with the 2 Champions League games before that. And it's also on the week of our founding, because we were founded or merged.
Oh yeah.
On the 9th of December, 1892. That's on a Tuesday. And then on the Sunday, like a few days after, is the Derby. So that's the first Premier League game after the anniversary. So, let's see. So that week has.
But we've just kind of back on the Brentford game.
Yeah.
Like you were so poor, and I think the thing is that like you don't look like you're getting any better. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I saw Westa is also back on the grass. He's not in Morocco for the game tomorrow for DR Congo, so he's not in the international break for them. And actually, I'm excited for that game, DR Congo against Cameroon. But I think hopefully we see Livramento back on the grass. Howe, obviously now you're seeing he's back on the grass, well, played in the game. So hopefully there's a bit of a change in terms of the team. I think that's maybe we just need a bit of a refresh. So comparing to the team that played on Sunday, to the team that will probably play against Man City at home, Marseille away for the next 2 games, which preview next week's show. You call this? The team, I think, should we be starting one of your favorite players, Aaron Ramsdale, in goal?
You start Ramsdale ahead of Pope right now. I know Pope really screwed it up against Brentford, but do you really think Ramsdale's that much better? Because I feel like if you bring Ramsdale in, he'll have a couple of games you're going to be like, bring Pope back in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm not sure, or just play Ramsdale against Spurs. But it could be, obviously we'll see what happens with the Nick Pope injury. Because
he pulled out of England. He pulled out of England.
Yeah, because of the you were in the watch long. Like, he landed awkwardly in the game, which was the reason why he was substituted. So we'll see if that means like he cannot play against Man City for the allocation of concussion or something. So we'll find out about it. So it could be Ramsdale right back. I hope Livramento now, because I think Trippier is okay, but
Livramento is better.
And then left back Lewis Hall, centre back, thank God, because Dan Burn can't even play. Is it going? Well, it should be Malik Chow. Botman hasn't had a good season so far. I'll give him one more chance. I
think Chow's been your best centre back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you, AC Milan, once again. We should always just buy whoever is okay at AC Milan.
Tonali. You should have got Chukwueze instead of Alanga.
Oh yeah,
although Chukwueze's done nothing for Fulham, so.
Or Rafa Leao.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind him.
But the thing is, Leao, I'll tell you something about Leao. He has not been good the last year or so. He has not been the same player. But still got the quality.
Going back to a team in the Champions League this season, I would give Botman one more chance in the Man City game. So Chow, Botman, midfield. Not sure about Joe Linton, but obviously Bruno and Tonali. And
I think Joe Linton. Against Brentford especially, I don't feel like he's offering much. I don't think Joe Linton's offering much right now. To be honest.
So I would say Ramsey instead of Joe Linton. Left wing, not sure about the Gordon injury situation. You start Barnes. Right back, right wing. Jacob Murphy, and up front. Obviously, I would like to see Wissa, but I don't know. I know he's back on the grass, but when is he going to actually
I
play?
think Voltemade has clearly been like your best player this season. I think.
Yeah, him and Chow. So we'll see. Maybe we just need a bit of a switch up. Like this is something that we need.
Would you consider going to a three at the back? Because I always say that about Spurs. I think we'd be suited to a three at the back. Do you think Newcastle would be more suited to that? Maybe.
Maybe. So I mean,
Because
the last
I
time,
know Steve kind of suggested it.
yeah,
So
because I know the last time we played a back three, we reached the Carabao Cup final comfortably. Um,
yeah,
I mean, you were happy with that,
I was.
apart from what happened the day after.
Oh yeah.
4-0.
Oh yeah,
Losing to
but then luckily other things happened that season.
Oh yeah,
So.
but I think overall, um, hopefully maybe it's going to be a what do you call it, a changed new team for the rest of or for the game on Man City in 10 days from now. But the good thing is for me and for you is that we don't have to worry about the weekend
Yeah,
for club football.
thankfully. Although I'm probably going to get something about Italy will stress me because Norway.
Well, you'll know by tomorrow because the game.
Yeah,
is.
tomorrow I'll know whether it's worth getting excited for. I mean, knowing my luck, Norway will probably lose and then Italy will lose as well. So
Oh, I would love to see Moldova win, but yeah, I think. And big up to
big up to Anthony as well.
Anthony. As I said, thank you for giving us the two players. Newcastle is still going to have to pay up for Leao. Besides, we are not going to sell him, and we are maybe.
To be fair, I think we need Leao desperately because we have nobody on the left. Like I think left wing will be our main priority in January, and I think. Not saying we're going to get Leao or anything, but Leao, despite his kind of drop off, I think is obviously a massive upgrade on what we have.
Yeah. So I think overall, for both Newcastle and Spurs, not great.
Look, it's not looking great. I mean, especially for the more so for the table for you guys than us. I mean, we're still fifth, but the reality is, I mean, there's about 4 or 5 other teams on 18 points as well, and I'll get the table back up. We're literally, it says we're fifth, which some people might think, yeah, that's good on paper. But I mean, look at this. Yeah, we're a point behind Sunderland, but look, 18, 18, 18, 18, 18. You know, we're on the same number of points as Bournemouth, who are 9th. Plus, you know, we're a point behind Crystal Palace, 2 points behind the likes of Brentford and Brighton. You know, this is what it is about the table. It's still very tight, and with Spurs, I know we're fifth, which people might say is good, but if we keep going on like this at home, we're gonna drop down the table. It's as simple as that. I mean, if we lose to Arsenal next week, then we're probably going to find ourselves about 9th or 10th come the end of the weekend, if I'm honest. And that's how quickly it could change. But obviously, look, for Newcastle, no matter how early it is, this for me is a crisis. This is a crisis situation.
I think that's 3 losses in 5. And the only wins have been the 2 home
negative goal difference as well. I just think you're just watching you like you're way too away from home. Like I said, you're just way too easy to play against. I feel like.
Yeah, and that's probably why we are not missing Chow at all.
All right. Yeah, look, Allegri's. I mean, he's gone to 3 at the back there now, and they're doing quite well. So.
Yeah, but in terms of like other, I was about to. But in terms of like you could say, what do you call this? Other tables, that is for better reading for at least Newcastle is the Champions League.
Yeah.
I'll show the top 8, top 9.
Yeah. Look, but that's the story of Newcastle, and you called it. To be fair, you called it. You did say that after what happened in the Champions League last time, that you guys are going to be on a bit of a revenge mission, you know, to actually put up a good showing in Europe.
Yeah, obviously 3 wins in a row. Obviously, I have to scroll just a bit down for Spurs.
I mean, we're only like, I mean, look, we're still just a point. We're a point outside, and we're unbeaten. We haven't lost. We haven't lost yet. So
true,
but we're playing PSG. We're playing PSG next. So
yeah, but at least we're above Real Madrid and Barca. and Liverpool, which is funny. We are both Real Madrid and Liverpool and Barcelona, the team that beat us. So in terms of like where we both feel in terms of like Champions League, let's start with Spurs. Are you going to get top 8?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because I'll tell you what we need to. I can tell you what we need to do to get top 8. What we need to do. What we need to do to get top 8 is to win 4 of the last.
I mean, if
3, sorry, no, not 4, 3. We need to win 3 of the last 4 games to get top 8, basically, because I think that will give us 17 points, which should be enough. I think minimum 15 should be enough, but to be guaranteed, you want 17. So I think 17 points will do it. That means we can only afford 1 loss, which I think everyone would bet money on it being PSG next week, which I think it very likely will be, sadly. But here, look, there's no guarantee we're going to win the games after that. I mean, Slavia Prague has to be 3 points at home. Yeah. But the 2 after that, Borussia Dortmund at home, that's not a guarantee. Dortmund are an established team. They're a very good team. Albeit they can be got at, and we have a good record against Dortmund. But again, it has to be on our day. And Frankfurt away. That's not an easy game. That's not an easy game. So I know what we need to do to get top 8, and it's still possible. Whether we will do that, I'm not confident. One bit.
Yeah. In terms of Newcastle,
I think you guys get it. I've looked at your fixtures. I think you get it. I do.
So our first game, which is after the Man City game in 10 days, more or less, Tuesday night, Marseille away, which I'm planning to do a watch long for in 2 weeks from now. Our history, I know with Marseille, the only history is the 2005. I hope I'm getting the year right. 2005 UEFA Cup, or the Europa League back in the day, semi-final. Unfortunately, it was a 2-0 aggregate score. 0-0 at St. James's, 2-0 in Marseille. And if anyone knows the name of a certain Didier Drogba was the man that propelled Marseille to that final over Newcastle, or in the semi-final. So that's the only history we have with Marseille. But obviously that was 20 years ago. And I think both teams, I'd say we are better than the Newcastle team 20 years ago, and Marseille, I say about the same. So that game, I don't expect a win. I would take a 0-0.
The thing is, you guys can afford to draw. You guys, out of the last 4 games, you can probably afford to draw 2 of them. You can afford to draw 2 of them as long as you win the other 2.
Yeah. And then, what do you call this? And then we play Leverkusen the day after the anniversary of Newcastle's unification, or whatever, or the merging of the 2 clubs of Newcastle West End and East End on the 9th. On the 10th, we play Leverkusen, and that is the game before the derby as well, Leverkusen away. Good thing is, we have a good record against Leverkusen because we beat them both times in our Champions League history with them. And obviously, I wish it was Eric Sevenhag, but it's not.
No.
But Kasper Schmeichel, which is okay, the former Denmark manager. But then game 7, which would be the home game, is against PSV Eindhoven. Our record against them, historically, not great, but again, 20, 30 something years ago. And then the final game just after that, and big up as well to Mo Brothers.
Big up every single time. Big up to everyone in the chat today as well.
Yeah, like 6 people watching. So, and then obviously the final game is PSG away. The only thing is we don't know how the table will be like. Maybe PSG are like, we're already top 8. We don't care. Newcastle can be like, you know what, we'll go for it. And so far, we've not lost to PSG ever. So I'm still holding on to that. You know, we've not lost to PSG ever in our history. So it's either we are just better against PSG or better against Kylian and Mbappe. But yeah, that's the Champions League. I mean, oh, did I remove it? Yeah, I did. But yeah, I don't know what else really to
Yeah, I
add
think
to
obviously
this.
next week we'll preview the big upcoming games for both teams. Of course, North London derby for Spurs and Man City for Newcastle, plus
So we're
PSG and
actually
Marseille for both.
11. Wow, 11 people watching.
Oh, big up! Yeah, big up to everybody
Yeah,
watching.
yeah, we're both delusional.
We're
And
both
you
we're
know
both
the
we're
funny
both
thing is,
suffering right now.
well, the only thing is, we are the two teams next week in the Prem. Us, Man City. You guys, Arsenal. We are the ones at the moment might be deciding the title race. You know, because we're all playing the
Oh,
two teams. Everyone's
I see why we've got all these guys in the chat. Big up to Michael TV for the raid.
Oh
Big
yeah,
up, massive thank you to Michael TV for the raid. Subscribe to him if you haven't already.
yeah,
Big Ajax fan, so if you want to see
yeah.
content like that,
It-
obviously
it-
Ajax not doing the best right now,
yeah.
but big up to
Let
yeah.
me bring it up to everyone. Watch.
Oh no, everyone coming from Michael's channel are gonna see it. Oh, 10, you're cruel. You're cruel. now they're gonna dislike all the guys.
No, subscribe. If okay, anyone subscribe to both my channel and Charlie's channel. If you subscribe to both, Ajax will beat Benfica, which means it won't end in 0
But
points.
that look, so all jokes aside, massive thank you to Michael for the raid every single time. Subscribe to his channel if you haven't already.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to say Newcastle top 8. I'll say if we do,
I think you do.
does
I've
look
looked
well.
at your fixtures. I think you do.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. We have to play PSV and their brother PSG, you know. So yeah. Obviously next week's show, which will be on Thursday, the 20th of November, 11 a.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Netherlands time, because I know Michael's channel, but it's also Spain time. 12 p.m. on next Thursday, the 20th. Actually, no, it might be earlier. But yeah, it's good show, bad games to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look.
But yeah, how's everything, Charlie, in terms of looking ahead, Arsenal and PSG?
Look, we'll talk about that next show. That's another story for another day. So
yeah. And if you guys want to find out, watch it next
week, Thursday, 11 a.m. We'll talk.
And obviously for Newcastle, it's what do you call this? Man City at home and Marseille away. Hopefully, we don't do as bad as Ajax did away at Marseille because they lost 4-0. I remember game 2, but yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up here for the show. Obviously, big up to everyone. Charlie, any plans up for the channel?
Yeah, I mean, I think next time we'll be live will be on Thursday. Next Thursday, sorry. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll do some videos before then as well. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, listen, massive big up to everyone watching. Again, massive thank you to Michael for the raid. And big up to 10 for having me on the show as well. Year of the Bird. Of course, the Newcastle and Spurs podcast, which right now I don't think there's much to cheer about for either of our team. But hopefully that changes in the weeks ahead. I mean, for me, look, if we get a win in the North London derby, then I'll probably be the happiest.
Then you'll be happy losing 7-0.
If we win the North London derby, I'll be happier than I'll be the not happier, but I'll be the happiest since Bilbao, basically. So
and then you'll be okay losing.
Or since Levy left, actually. Since Levy went, I was pretty happy.
Which we were live.
Yeah, I can't believe we were actually live when that happened, when that broke.
But yeah, in terms of my channel, for the Michael Talks and anyone that's joined, I will probably do a vlog because the Spanish national team is coming to my city. Only thing is, it's the U21, and guess who we play? San Marino,
Marino.
one of the toughest teams.
The GOATs.
San Marino U21.
The greatest national team ever, San Marino.
Yeah, which could be at the World Cup potentially and knock out Italy in the playoff.
Oh no! No, we're not doing this.
So,
we're not doing this.
I'll probably do a vlog for that. I might do a watch long on Tuesday, most likely. At the moment, I'm having Spain-Turkey, but I might change it to maybe another game potentially on Tuesday, the 18th of November. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and obviously
big up to AJ. Just before we're going, big up AJ every single time
as well. Yeah, please. I hope Arsenal and Newcastle win in 10 days, 11 days from now.
Not Arsenal. Yeah, 100%, guys. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already as well to both channels. So
yeah. But next week, obviously, in the show, we're going to be talking about the what do you call it? We're both in the title fight.
We're facing the top two, basically.
Yeah, and we're both going to France.
Yeah, against the rivals PSG Marseille. Yeah, so it's kind of connected a little bit.
Yeah, but yeah. Until then, we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Big up, guys.